Hello, and welcome to our presentation on the ethics of the aesthetics of social media. I'm Brian Wolf.
I'm Lauryn Taylor.
And I'm Addy Reeher.
And today we will be presenting to you on behalf of our class, our digital literacy group project, or our class seminar in digital rhetorics, COMM 460. First, we're going to be going over the goals of our project and our targeted audience. We're going to go over the method and process we use while creating our products for this project. We're going to discuss the lessons that we learned from this project, and we'll conclude with some major takeaways.
So for our goal and for our audience, we had a target audience for college students and young adults. Our goal is to create content that informs people about social media in four major categories: through its algorithms, social media dependency, connection, and visual rhetoric. For our method and process, we brainstormed and delegated as a group, and we had us as the three leaders. We had a schedule that was based weekly, split up into three overall for the social media team and for the podcast team. We compiled our research into Google Drive. And for the social media content team, they drafted, recorded, and posted on Instagram and TikTok. For our podcast team, they made scripts and recorded weekly and posted on Spotify.
So as Lauryn said, we first organized ourselves into separate task groups to complete each product for our project. We had our podcast team and our social media team, and those are the members there. We then created a weekly class schedule. So every week we would outline what tasks and what objectives we wanted to do during the week and have done by the end of the week. After week 5, we split that schedule into our podcast and social media task group objectives and tasks as well. So our white column has the whole class's tasks and objectives, and the green and blue columns has podcast and social media respectively. We then organized ourselves into research groups based off of each podcast's episode's topic. Our speakers for each episode would take the research that was compiled by those groups and create scripts, which they would then use to record the episode. Our editors would edit the episodes and post them onto Spotify. In the meantime, our social media task group would be creating graphics in Canva, writing captions, editing videos, all of these things to create our content, which they would then post on Instagram and TikTok, advertising our podcast.
So for our final project, this is a screenshot of the link tree that I created, which has the links to Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. Going into Instagram, it has some Meet the Team posts, which we broke up into the coordinators, the social media team, and then the podcast team. So we weren't bombarding with like 15 posts. We have a coming soon post. We have some TikToks that we created into Instagram Reels. Just some media that we created to publish or to broadcast our product. Moving into the TikTok, we again started with a Meet the Team post and then started using trending sounds and posted accordingly to what podcast was coming out that week for that topic. We went around interviewing students on campus, asking them about algorithms, telling them to give a listen to the podcast coming out that week. And then moving into Spotify, these are where you can find all of our episodes that are out and published. It's just a logo that we use as the profile picture. And then moving into some lessons learned from the whole class. So we all learned time management because we had to stick to the schedule that we as a class created. We learned how to work as a whole team and then individually based on podcasts and social media. We delegated work to the coordinators, we delegated work, and then within each task group, we had to delegate based off the assets of each person in the group. We worked together as a team to digitally execute and plan and produce a product. And then we all learned the importance of communication and planning task delegation. For the social media lessons learned, we learned about algorithms and how to appeal to a target audience. We learned the difference between Instagram story interactions versus Instagram posts. They're very different. We all learned new digital literacy skills. Some people learned all about Instagram and TikTok, considering there were a couple members that had never used that platform or didn't use it very often. We built a community in this task group and we branded in order to get more views. This was mainly on TikTok. We noticed that if we used a trending sound, it got way more views than others that we didn't use trending sounds on. For the podcast lessons learned, they learned how to analyze research for relevant topics because they weren't always the ones that produced the research for that week's podcast. They had to learn to speak clearly and concisely for the recording, and they had to write flexible scripts so that they could, follow an outline and learn to impromptu speak and just let the conversation flow to produce a good product.
For the conclusion, the entire process was enjoyable and ultimately fulfilling for all of us. We were able to excel as a group. We learned skills that we will use in our future work as professionals in the communication field, especially since we practice marketing management and social media. And these are current stats in TikTok, Instagram, podcast over half of the semester. Thank you so much for listening. And here are our final annotated resources.